Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the blog Grupo Dicas, one of the biggest travel blogs in the world, and today I am here to tell you all about the Vatican, what to do in the Vatican, what are the tours and must-see places, how to buy tickets, and several important tips, how to enter with the ideal clothing, you can't enter with just any clothes, and finally all the tips that will really help you to plan your visit to the Vatican, which is a sensational place, guys. So these are going to be quick tips, useful and without getting bogged down. So give us that like, guys, subscribe to the channel because that really helps us a lot, and buckle up. Well, let's talk about the Vatican. It's an incredible place, one of the most incredible places we have ever been to in the whole world. And for those who want to know religious places, even if they are not Catholic, we recommend a visit because it's an incredible place. The buildings, the architecture, the history there is very rich, so it's a place that's very worthwhile. Where is the Vatican? Many people don't know, but the Vatican is in the middle of the city of Rome. Actually, it is a city. It's a Vatican city-state. It's a separate, independent city-state. It's the smallest city in the world. It's less than half a square kilometer, less than 500 square meters. It's very small and it's in the middle of Rome. So our tip is go visit the Vatican when you are in Rome. So that's why we said that on the Rome itinerary there's a lot to do. Rome is a city. It's one of the cities that has more cool sites, so you always have to consider an extra day in your calendar to be able to visit the Vatican too, because one day will be dedicated only to the Vatican. So it's very rare for someone to stay in the Vatican. Almost 99% of the tourists stay in Rome. They go to Rome and they stay there, and then they get to know the Vatican in one day, and it's about a 35-minute walk. It's very close. There is an area of Rome that we recommend, that we did the video on where to stay, and it's the best location possible. It's close to everything, and walking to the Vatican will take you 35 minutes, so the access to the Vatican is very easy. If you stay in Rome, within 10 minutes by taxi, Uber, or 30-35 minutes walking, you get there. And a very cool thing, we always comment here that it's the smaller city in the world. It's less than 500 square meters, but even though it's small in its geographical dimension, it's very big in terms of architecture and grandiosity of construction. It was one of the places that we were most impressed with the side of things. St. Peter's Basilica, which is the main basilica and the main church of Catholicism, is the focal point there. So to understand well in the Vatican, you will get there and the first thing you see is St. Peter's Square. It's a gigantic square which draws a lot of attention for its size, holds more than 300,000 people, is surrounded by more than 280 giant pillars that are all around it and form a beautiful scenery. This is the famous square that you observe sometimes, those gigantic masses, people to attend some special events, some Pope's announcement, when they are going to announce the new Pope. It's crowded, so this is the most famous Catholic square in the whole world. And then in front of the square you will see St. Peter's Basilica, which is huge and really beautiful. It's the most famous and important church of Catholicism, and those are the two main sites of the Vatican, along with the third one that completes your visit to the Vatican. For you to know, the main places are St. Peter's Basilica, St. Peter's Square, and the Vatican Museums. The Vatican Museums are 20 minutes away, almost 30 minutes walk at most. That's where the famous Sistine Chapel is. That are the 3 points to try to better explain what you have to see and you can see in a whole day. First important tip, it gets crowded, really crowded. It was one of the most crowded places we have ever seen in our lives. The tip, arrive early. Thank God we arrived in the time zone. On our first day in Rome, we woke up at 5:30 in the morning because the time zone made us confused, and that was very good because we ended up getting there. It was 6:30, 7. The square was empty. I had never seen a picture of the square like that. You can see there how we found the square, so we were able to enjoy it very much. When we left the interior of St. Peter's Basilica, it was 11 o'clock in the morning. The place was packed. There were huge lines all around the square, so our trip, try to go as soon as possible so that you can really enjoy your visit. And another important tip is about the clothes. You can't enter wearing daring clothes. There are some little rules. The most important tip, always from the knee down. You can't go with shorts or very short skirts, so make sure that or wear pants to guarantee it. We chose to wear pants so as not to have any problems. And another point is that you can't go with your shoulders showing. Usually, sometimes women wear a lot of shirts, blouses, or tank tops, especially when it's summer in Rome, which is very hot. Our tip is go with some blouse that covers the shoulders, both men and women, to avoid problems. If you forget, don't worry, because there are some shops selling those capes. I don't know if it's capes. I don't know the name. I don't remember. I don't know. It's an accessory you put around there that women wear at parties that you cover up. It's even nice to take as a souvenir, so you can also enter without any problem. But they are very careful with this. So go with the right clothes so you don't have any problems in front of them and around the Vatican. So you arrived in Vatican, go to the square, take your pictures, and enjoy that it's morning. The scenery is more beautiful, there are less people. Enjoy, there's not so much to see, it's more to this scenery, the beauty there. There's an obelisk there in the center that's called the Egyptian obelisk. It was brought to Rome in 14 AD. It's the very famous obelisk because it represents the victory of Christianity over the pagans. So it has a very important meaning for them, and it's an obelisk that stands out right there in the middle of the square. You will see it for sure. And then you go straight to the Basilica, which you will notice has a huge line, and that's usually to buy the ticket. Guys, this is the main tip for the Vatican, for all of Rome and all the Rome sites. Buy everything beforehand. Buy your tickets, visits, and tours beforehand on the internet, because you don't have to wait in line. The tourist points there, especially the Vatican ones, the Basilica and the Vatican museums, have a long line, so buy in advance. We did it, and it was very good. We went straight through the huge line of 1 or 2 hours in that sun. We ended up getting in, so the tip is buy in advance because it's cheaper. It's always cheaper online than buying it on the spot. You don't queue up, and you already have your tickets with you with your trip organized, and you don't waste time with this on the spot. There are separate tickets to St. Peter's Basilica and to the Vatican museums, which are the two places that we think are worth buying at the Vatican. And there is also the guided tour, which is very nice for those who want to know more about the history and to have a guide that shows you all the steps from the square to the inside of the Basilica. He stays there for hours showing you everything. What are the buildings, the tombs down there. There's a very nice tomb underneath St. Peter's Basilica. You can see it for some places on the floor, so it has a very nice story behind it. He knows everything, so it's nice for those who wants to know. There are many tours in Spanish. Most of them are in Spanish. You can choose English. There are a few in Portuguese, but depending on the day you might have some luck. There are the tickets. You can buy them separately. There's a very nice card that's a combo of these main attractions in the Vatican along with the ones in Rome, so you can buy them. I'll leave it here, the link below in the description of the video. You click here in the description of the video and it will open all the links that I'll mention during the video. One of them is this ticket and tour site, which is one of the biggest in the world. It's where we always buy our tickets because it has the best price. They are reliable. We know they have quality. They have people's opinions, and we always buy everything at once because you buy everything in one place, make a purchase and travel there. And there is this card that it's called Omnia Vatican Plus, Roma Pass, something like that, or Roma card. Sometimes it changes the name. It's a very nice combo that saves you money. You buy the main tours in Rome, which includes the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, and some other attractions, and also these other attractions in the Vatican. This is a way to save a little bit. You can still use the tour bus around the city. You can also buy the ticket separately or by tour. You can also buy the ticket separately, but to do some research, and sometimes it pays off to buy this combo. If you're not going to visit the others, the separate pack is better. It depends on the trip of each one, but buy them before, for the love of God, so you don't have to wait in this long line. And when you enter St. Peter's Basilica, you will see that it's a sensational place. It's kind of hard to describe. It really struck me when I entered. Right at the entrance, when you walk through the door, the grandiosity is the high of the church. It's sensational. I was wondering how they managed to build all that stuff back there. The gigantic pillars, the architecture is wonderful. It was completed in the year 1620. There were several famous artists who painted it. The best known one was the only one I knew. There were three there who were super famous, but I only knew one name, which is Michelangelo. So it's a place full of history, and you should set aside about 2 or 3 hours to stay there because it's worth it, and there are a lot of cool things there. And inside the church there are several mini churches, very small ones, where there is a priest, there are some chairs. You can try to arrive on time, and if there is room you can participate, or you can schedule a time. Who wants to schedule these more religious things where you have to make an appointment, but it's not so crowded. If you do it in advance you can get it. It's a super special opportunity to attend a mass or something inside the Vatican. The church opens at 7 in the morning, so our tip is try to arrive as soon as possible around this time and go until about 6 in the afternoon. But after 10-11 it starts to get really crowded. So to quickly finish talking about St. Peter's Basilica, because there's a part down there that's sensational, which are the catacombs. There are several popes that are buried and preserved there, but to access some places down there you have to buy a separate ticket, which includes this. In this site that I left here, you can see the catacombs. They are very descriptive about what you can and cannot access. And there is also another cool point, that's the Belvedere from the top of St. Peter's Basilica. You can climb the tower. It's a very nice place because you have an entire view of the Vatican Square and of Rome. It's a sensational scenery, but there's a catch. It's very difficult to get up there. There are more than 300 steps, several very narrow and very steep corridors. So our tip, if you are in the mood, if your health is up to date, it's worth it. If you have some kind of problem with enclosed places, with effort, with steps, I don't know, many people have these things, then you'd better save your efforts and focus only on St. Peter's Basilica. But if you are in the mood, go up because it's really worth it. Oh, and everybody, if you have any questions, no matter how silly, send them to us and we'll be glad to help you. Send us a direct message on social networks. That's even easier. We like it. Follow us there. We're always traveling around the world, trying to give these travel tips in a very nice way and showing our family routine with our little ones, which were a blast. So visit us there, send us a direct message, ask questions, and we will help you organize your trip. We will solve your doubts with great pleasure. So just follow us there at Pai Lorenzi and send me a direct message that for sure I will respond. And then closing out the Basilica of St. Peter, a very nice thing to see in the Vatican that many people who are religious want to see, which is the main thing, is to see the Pope. There is no way. Everybody that goes there wants to take a picture of the Pope, or at least to witness his presence. Witnessing his presence is good. Wow. Or at least witness his image, which is very nice. So you have to check the agenda. There are several days that he appears and special days during the year. Those special masses, specific dates, but also on almost every Sunday morning he appears there in that window to do some reading, to do some mass reading. So research there on the side. There's a complete schedule. You can get it on the Vatican site. Look up the schedule and maybe you can see. And then the last place for you to close the day, because it's quite a long time, you will stay quite a long time in these places because they are all big and they have a lot of cool things to see. You have the Vatican museums. They are not so close to St. Peter's Basilica. You have to walk for 20-25 minutes. It's an uphill walk, so be prepared. Get some water, wear a cap, a hat if it's sunny, but it's close. You walk. It's very nice to see the place. Inside the Vatican from St. Peter's Basilica, you will see that at the exit there are many stores with things to take home. Souvenirs, rosaries, various magnets, various things of Catholicism, various images of the Pope, but the price there is very high. The cool thing is that it's reverted to the church and to the Vatican, to the Catholic Church. So if you want to buy things there, there is holy water, everything, you buy it. But in the stores next door, they have it for a cheaper price. Logically, you know, they are same products, the retailers are the same, so you will see that things are identical. There is even holy water that's sold in the other store, so it depends on which one stays. If you want to save a lot, go to these stores. If you want to buy things there, believing, we found it cool. We bought some rosaries, some things to protect ourselves and to take to our relatives. We chose to buy at the Vatican because we think it makes more sense, but that's up to each one's opinion and taste. And then arriving at the Vatican museums, what are the Vatican museums? It's a collection of several museums. There are 9 main ones and there's a lot to see. The thing we observed, the places are sensational, the works, the paintings. There are the extended carpets from past centuries, paintings, sculptures. The history is very cool. You listen to the audio guide, it's very cool, but the path there is very narrow. It looks like a procession because it's very crowded and people walk together. It's like a procession. It's a lot of people, and because it's narrow, it gets crowded, so you can't walk fast. You have to go at everybody's pace. So this is another tip. Try to go as early as possible, but it's also part of the tour and you can't miss it. And the main point there, don't forget to visit the Sistine Chapel. Make sure you visit it because it's the coolest spot in the Vatican museums. It's the most important place for the Catholics. It has a very special meaning in there, and it's painted from the walls to the ceiling. The ceiling was painted completely. It's a beautiful scenario and very worthwhile. It was very renowned painters in history who did this painting. There were several together because it's a very beautiful place and it's worth your while to stop. It's usually one of the last stops. You enter the museum, walk around, follow the signs, and you don't get lost. Most of the signs are indicating the Sistine Chapel. It's the most wanted place. And then you complete your day in the Vatican. Another cool tip: on the way from Rome to the Vatican, there's a very cool tourist spot that is 10 minutes away from the Vatican. It's the Castel Sant'Angelo, which is the castle of Santo Angelo, and it's nice to visit it or to pass by just to take some pictures because it's very beautiful. It's a very different architecture, a very different construction, and if you have a little time, go inside. It has 5 floors. You can visit the inside of the castle. It's very cool, and it's close to the bridges over the Tigris River, which is the passage for you to go back to Rome. So it's a very beautiful place. Make a visit there and gather everyone in the same day. You finish all the sites, and in Rome, get ready because there's a lot to do. There's a very nice video. If you haven't seen it, watch it. This video is sensational. A complete video with all the tours, all the sites, and all the tips, similar to the one we did for the Vatican, the one in Rome, only that one, the one in Rome is much bigger because there are a lot of things to do, and I'll leave all the links here below. The cheapest tickets, there's also the chip link to use the internet abroad. You need the international chip. There's one that we use it that's very good. It's cheaper for you to use the internet calmly. It's a quality signal in all the places we traveled, even the most distant in Tuscany. They delivered it to our house. We bought it on the internet, and in 2-3 days they delivered it to our house. We installed it as soon as we got there, put the chip in, and got off the plane using it. There is the travel insurance, which is mandatory. Don't miss it because it's mandatory for almost every country in Europe. I'll also leave here the link to the price comparator. It's a very good comparator that compares all the insurance companies and shows you the best options and the best prices. You get very cheap prices. We paid an average of 22 euros in an excellent travel insurance, which met all the requirements to be able to go to Europe. And for 15 days of travel, then it's really cheap. Be sure to do it and to have no problem getting there. And the comparator, similar to the insurance one, has the car rental comparator. If you're going to make the trip through Tuscany, it's a trip there to Venice and Milan by car, to Italy, which is very nice. We recommend use this comparator too because it finds the best prices from all the companies. So there are tips that we give you to plan your trip with the tools. We use it to plan ours, so don't forget to plan well. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, please give us a like and subscribe to our video. It really helps us. And don't forget to watch the other videos that are very good, the ones about Rome and Italy. There's the one about how to save a lot on your trip to Rome and Italy, which shows you step by step how to plan your complete trip in Italy, saving a lot on everything, which the best tips, the best services. It's a very complete and sensational video. I'll leave it here along with the playlist along below with all the other videos from Italy for you to watch and enjoy, guys. So that's it, and have nice trips.